In this video, I'm going to show you how to make a payment agreement with the IRS, and more importantly, how to properly structure a tax payment plan. It's one thing to get an agreement, it's another thing to have one that you can afford and live with for the next 3 to 5 years. Hello, I'm Jim Flouse, enrolled agent, tax coach, and IRS problem solver. I'm authorized by the U.S. government to represent taxpayers before the Internal Revenue Service in all 50 states. The type of payment plan that you set up with the IRS is determined by, one, how much you owe, and two, how long you want to take to pay it back. Now, you don't actually make the choice on how long, they do, but anyway, there's 3 different types. The first is if you owe the IRS $10,000 or less. And frankly, this is super simple. You simply go online, you can set up a payment agreement to pay over a 3-year period, and they'll pretty much automatically accept that on the spot. In fact, it's so easy. This is why you see all the ads on TV from all those big tax relief companies where they say, if you owe the IRS $10,000 or more, call 1-800 whatever. Well, that's because if you owe $10,000 or less, you don't need to call anybody. You simply go to irs.gov, you type in your information, and you set up the payment agreement. Now, here's the benefits of this type of an agreement. Number one, it's fairly affordable. Automatically, if you owe $10,000 or less and you're going to pay over 36 months, isn't that about a $200 to $250 payment per month? The other thing is it's flexible. You can pay by either mailing in a check or a money order anytime during the month that you want. You can have a payroll deduction. You could even pay by credit card, though I'm not sure that's really smart. But there's a lot of ways you can do it. No one's going to be reaching into your bank account for your IRS payment every month. And third, they really don't need to know any more about you other than how much you owe. You don't have to share with them any financial information. They're not going to get up and close and personal with your finances. The second type of installment agreement would be one where you owe up to $50,000. Now, obviously, this is a much more serious debt. If you owe, as I had a real estate agent recently, $53,000, send $3,000 and set up a payment agreement for the other $50,000. Why? Because it's called a streamlined agreement. They will give you 72 months to pay. It's easy to set it up. That's the good news. You want to know the bad news? It's so easy that you can get yourself into trouble. What's $50,000 divided by 72 months? $694 a month is okay this month and maybe next month and maybe the next month. But as closings start to come and go or get delayed, you can have dry patches in your cash flow. And trust me, the IRS is not going to be kind to you if you miss one of these $694 payments. And not only do you have to pay it every month, keep in mind one of the conditions of setting up an IRS payment agreement is that you also have to stay current on your current year's payments. I mean, you owe back taxes and you're making an installment agreement on, let's say, last year's taxes, but at the same time, you've got taxes rolling up on this year's real estate closings. The third type of payment agreement would be one where you owe more than $50,000. And frankly, this is a little more difficult to set up. You're going to have to share financial information with the IRS. That's the bad news. And once you set up the payment agreement, they're going to automatically pull it out of your bank account by a direct debit. So you've got a lot less control on your cash flow, on your future bank account balance, and so on. But what you do is you send into the IRS 2 forms. One is the request for an installment agreement. It's a form 9465. And the other is you send in a collection financial statement. It's a 433. And with this form 433, you're going to have to disclose your income and your expenses, some of your assets. For example, do you own a home? Do you own rental property? Do you have an IRA? Do you own some rental real estate? Do you own some vehicles? Do you own some jewelry? At the end of the day, if the average home payment in your area is $1,500, but you're coming down every month with a $2,500 mortgage, the IRS may not feel that you're doing your part to maintain reasonable household expenses and may feel that you really need to pay more than what you feel you can afford to take down your tax debt. In this case, it would definitely be helpful to get, I believe, a professional representative to help you, an enrolled agent or a tax attorney who can represent you before the IRS and get you a payment agreement that you can afford. Look, I can tell you from experience, it's easy to get into trouble with the IRS. 1 in 6 realtors actually has an IRS problem. 1 in 12 owes the IRS more than $10,000. If you owe less than 10, set up a simple payment agreement. If you owe more than 10,000 and less than 50, well, set up a payment agreement, but please properly structure it so you don't get into a situation that you can't afford the payments. And if you owe 50, get some help. Get some help so that we can put this behind you. It really is possible to put your IRS problem behind you permanently. There are other ways to fix an IRS problem. You can get an offer in compromise where you settle for less than you owe. You can get currently non-collectible status where you put the IRS on hold temporarily if you're experiencing hardship. You can also have penalties abated or reduced. Those are all other strategies we'll cover in other videos, but for now, if you like this information, please share it, please like it, and please subscribe to our channel so that you can get updated on new videos we post about how to resolve a tax problem or how to reduce Uncle Sam's tax bite when you file this year's return. I would encourage you to download our free tax guide, The Ultimate 10 Tax Hacks That Rich Realtors Use to Save on Taxes and Send Less to the IRS. That's a free cheat sheet right in the description to this video, so grab that if you will, and I hope you benefit from it. Thanks, I'm Jim Flaus. We'll see you next time.